So I'm going to be showing you a start to finish tutorial on how to create an animated score video. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to look for the PDF of my score, and this looks like the recent one. Just preview it here. So this is the score, and this is a rather odd one because it's landscape, and you don't really see landscape scores for concert music, but for this Puro ensemble, it works the best in landscape. We'll take the PDF score and we're going to export images of each page and throw that into our editing software. So we're going to export as image, and we're going to go find the same folder. A pro tip in Mac OS is if you want to directly find the exact source of folder is to just drag and drop right into there and you immediately have the right folder. So I'm going to create a new folder called score video. Great, now it's exporting every single page as a JPEG image or PNG image. Great, now that these are all images, we can now open up our Final Cut Pro in Perpetuo Score Video. We can just do 1080. And I'll do 60 frames per second so I can have that sweet, smooth page turn animation. And we can actually use any video editing software. This is really basic video editing. You can use iMovie, which is free. All we're going to do is stitch together all the images of the score to the recording and add page turn animations. Since this is a longer score, we have 40 different pages that we have to insert. So let's just start with the first one. I'm going to try something new with this score. I'm going to have a nice background for it. So I like the wood texture. It's like you're reading the score from a table. So let's just drag this onto the timeline. Now that we have that, let's go add our first page. Great. Now to make it look a little bit nicer, I'm going to decrease the size of the score. That looks good. Just add a little bit of a margin. To elevate this, I'm going to also add a drop shadow. Drop shadow will make it look like the page is actually sitting on top of the desk here. And in the beginning of the score video, I'm just going to let the front title page and front matter show for a few seconds, and then the recording will start. So let's add the program notes so people watching the video can read along to it. What the cool thing is with Final Cut Pro and many other softwares, I'm gonna copy and paste the attributes of the drop shadow and the scale of this page to all of the pages. So let's just worry about getting the pages in sequenced in time, and then later we'll add the drop shadow and the different paper size. I'm gonna make sure that people have enough time to read, or at least pause to read these program notes, and then I'm going to go right into the recording. Great, page 1. And I'm going to add transitions later. Okay, I added the recording of my piece into that folder, and I'm just going to drag it onto the timeline, and I'm going to start it right where page 1 begins. Let's make the timeline a little bit bigger. And right before the last beat goes to the next page, we have to turn. So let's create a break here, and let's add in our next page. And this is really the longest part of the whole process. Let's get that on there. And we just follow along to the recording and make breaks where the pages are supposed to turn. Boom. So if you like these really practical tutorials on composing related stuff, I have a weekly email newsletter where I share things like this all the time. So I actually got this recording myself using one of my fancy audio recorders. It's a Zoom H5, I believe. It's just a handheld mic that captures crystal clear audio. It doesn't take much effort. You kind of just plug and play. Just turn it on, set the audio level so it doesn't peak, and it comes out great. And that wood background is starting to end soon, so I'm just going to elongate it to the length of the recording. quickly trim this part is to do Command and then right bracket, or Option right bracket. There we go. I always forget that. Okay, now that we have the basic cuts, all 40 pages, I'll show you how I copy and paste the attributes of this nice drop shadow and smaller scale to all the clips in bulk, so we don't have to do it for each clip. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first one, Command C, and then select page 2 onward. Great, now that every other clip is selected, we'll do Command Shift V, and this pastes the attributes. So we'll paste all of this stuff here that we want. And now every single clip has this beautiful drop shadow. It's new scale. That's exactly what we wanted. Last thing I want to do is add page curls between each page turn. Call it page curl and drag it onto the transition here. And it's going the wrong way. We like to turn from the top of the page to the left, so we'll just change that to left. We can even change the angle that the page turn goes. I don't think I'm that particular. There we go. That's fine. Let's test that out. Boom. I might make it a little bit longer, just a preference thing. Awesome. I'm gonna meticulously paste in all of the transitions. I know there's probably a better way to bulk it, but it's kind of not working for me, so this works good enough. Now that we added everything, we're pretty much ready to export. Feel free to add fades to black in the beginning or the end if you want. Save. And now it's gonna render. Okay, our video is finished rendering. Now we go to our YouTube uploader here, and we're just gonna drag and drop in our file like that. Okay, here's what I do for uploading. Name of the piece. And there's different conventions. You can say the instrumentation next, so I'll say for Pierrot Ensemble. And I like to put my last name in parentheses. This is just one format. If you have a link to the purchase page of this score, you would put it right at the top. So I'll say to purchase or to learn more. Then you would put the link, but because I don't have that set up yet, I'll just put my website. And under that, I like to put the program notes. So I have this pasted in. It doesn't need to be any longer than this. I'm sure you've seen thumbnails of just the first page of the score and like a white background. I've done that. Or you can do a close-up of a few measures or just a system or two. Let's upload the thumbnail image. Perfect. And I added to a playlist. We'll call it Chamber. End screen. A little subscribe thing down there. Okay, we're good to go, and we're gonna make it public. Publish. We're live. So even if you create the score video and you don't market it correctly, it won't matter. So check this video out next to see how to do that.